So yesterday's video was on tranquil spaces and finding the time and a place where you can relax and reflect on life, where you've come from, where you're at, figuring things out, and kind of opening a path for you to go forward. I'm going to speak about journaling today in a similar light. I've read many articles on tips on how you can be happy or um, things like that. And one of the themes that always comes up is journaling. And I've heard some articles say you need to journal every day and you need to write about all the things that make you happy and that's how you'll be happy. And then I've heard other articles say, oh, you have to journal once a week because if you do it too much, then it becomes a hassle and then it's not worth it anymore. But for me, I never really thought about it that way. When I first started journaling, I was a very young child. I don't remember how old I was, but I think I was probably like 8. And I did it as a way to just record what I was feeling, no matter what I was going through, whether I was happy or sad or angry or feeling misunderstood or confused. I just would write in it, and I wouldn't write in it every day or every week or every month. It was kind of all over the place whenever I just felt like it. And I do it much less now than I used to, but I still do it. Like last night, I couldn't sleep, and so I journaled, and a lot of my thoughts these days have to do with my business and especially this program that my husband and I are going to be doing at the end of the month. And but I got really curious today, and I pulled out this journal. This journal that I'm holding, you could see it's pretty thick. It was a journal that I kept from June 22nd, 2004 to December 31st, 2005. That translates to the summer right before my sophomore year in college to the middle of my junior year of college. And I I read through some of the entries in their entirety, but I skimmed through a lot, and I realized that this book holds my first kiss, my first awkward dating conversation, and at the same time, I learned how much power I had in every single situation that I found myself in that was either confusing or made me sad or a lot of fuzziness around it, made me angry. I had so much more power than I thought that I did. And now that many years have gone by, I can actually see that. And it kind of served as a reminder to me because these days, I have a coach to talk to if I feel certain doubts about my business, or I have my husband to talk to, and I don't journal as much. Even my parents, I talk to my parents too. And my best friend, okay, I have a lot of people to talk to, and I did back in these days too, but there are some things that they just keep circling over and over and over in your head, and it's just kind of awkward to keep bringing it up to people. So journaling is how I typically get those thoughts out. And anyway, back to the point. I realized that even though I didn't feel like I had power back then, I did. And even though I sometimes feel today like I don't have enough power, I have to remind myself that I do. And I have to challenge myself to think outside of the box and figure out how exactly I have power in situations that I'm in. And I don't mean, when I say power, I don't mean like power struggle, like you have to be on top of everyone. But there's certain things that you do always have control over. And sometimes the best way to find that power in a situation is to be honest and to be yourself. And when I read my journal, there were moments, especially when it came to guys, that I did just that. I was so honest and I was so open. And at this time, it created situations that were really confusing for me. And I realized that the other parties were sometimes really scared and nervous as well. And I didn't realize that at the time. When I read my journal, I see it now, but I didn't back then. And so, anyways, journaling. I recommend it very highly. I don't think that there's a specific formula to it. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it every month. And if you don't want a girly journal like this for you gentlemen, type on the computer. I switched from actual paper journals to typing on my computer quite a bit, like Doogie Howser. I don't know if you guys remember Doogie Howser, but it's a very powerful thing to go and read your own thoughts from back in the day. So I recommend that you do it and see what you find out about yourself.